What's up, Capoeira people? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast once again. Here with more Capoeira information to the entire Capoeira community or whoever's listening right now. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of the Capoeira community and be training and keep supporting your school. And today we have a special interview because I love doing this. I love bringing friends, especially when I bring multiple friends at once in one episode. So today I have the huge pleasure to have back three of my really good friends from the Capoeira community. Please introduce yourself and include social media when you finish. Who's first?
Let's go with the professores first.
Oh, cool. Soquete.
Hi, I'm Professor Soquete from Cadara Capoeira Toronto here in Canada. Always love coming to be on the podcast and love having a chat. Thanks again for having us on. Look forward to continuing the conversation.
Yes. Social media?
Cadara Capoeira Toronto, you'll find all the group stuff. Everything else you'll find under Professor Soquete or just Soquete, Soquete. As far as I know, there's only two Soquetes in the Capoeira world.
Nice. Congo.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Professor Congo from the island of Curacao in the Caribbean. I'm part of Grupo Capoeira Brazil. And yeah, social media is Congo Capoeira. That's it.
Easy. And Sua, your turn.
Salve galera, I'm instructor Sua from Grupo Capoeira Axé Brazil in Calgary, Canada. And my social media is Sua Capoeira or Capoeira Axé Brazil, Calgary. You'll be able to find us everywhere across the board.
Nice.
Happy to be here one more time. Thanks so much.
Thank you for each of you making the time to make it back. And if you're listening to this, it's going to be a very interesting topic. I really love talking about how we play Berimbau, since this. I feel like is sometimes the Berimbau information get lost during the time, and I feel like it's good to bring back some of the knowledge of Berimbau knowledge. We get bunch of people doing movements on social media, but we get little information about capoeira music. And if we get capoeira music information with Portuguese and of course English speakers that they don't understand Portuguese, is the information get mislead. So today we're going to be talking about how the Berimbau, how to play and when to play. So the way I learned Berimbau a while time ago, if we start with just the basic, is for example with Angola, right? So the way I learned Berimbau when the gunga starts, the medio and the viola follows, and then the pandero and the atabaque, or sometimes it's the atabaque and the pandero. Always depends of the group. What do you guys think? How you guys started? Who was first? Sua, you were the last. You were
Okay, I'll jump in. So yeah, it's exactly the same what you said, but it's very depends on the lineage of each group.
Yes.
Quite depends on the order of the bateria. But in my school, exactly what you said, same order, 100%. When we play most of the rhythms, and in my group we play Angola, Benguela. São Bento Grande da Capoeira Angola, a little bit of regional, a little bit of Ayuna. I think that's about it. And then other talkies is more doing research around the world and seeing what other lineages do. But definitely what you said is very similar to my group.
Nice. And we're going backwards now. Congo.
Okay, yeah. The way I learned from my first start is also the same way. So gunga, médio, viola, atabaque, and then the pandeiros. That's the way I learned when I started capoeira, and that's the way I kept doing it. And most of the rodas that I go to also start that way. Most.
Nice. Soquete.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a roda start any other way than that. Berimbaus, atabaque, pandero. The thing that's important, I think, is that each berimbau needs at least 2 bars before the next one comes in, so you get a chance to let everything build and grow. And then, agogo if people are playing it, heko heko if people are playing it, then
Yeah.
palmas if it's not Angola, and then the lead singing, and then the following up.
Yeah, same. Same thing. Like if we talk about Angola, right? The usually the gunga stars is don ding, don ding, don ding, and then the medio enters a little bit time, and the viola enters, and then a little bit more time, like you mentioned. Soquete is a little bit like few seconds after, and then the next instrument enters. What about the rhythms that each berimbau plays? What do you guys think? Soquete, you first. For Angola, for example.
Okay, so we don't play Angola. We play Sabinti Grande de Bimba and Benguela,
Nice.
Yuna, and a few other things. But the first group I trained with played Angola, and they always just played the same rhythm. But when you've got songs like Seu Gunga Chama, Médio Inverte, Viola Chorao, the information is there that one should play the bass rhythm, dong
Nice.
ding. Then the second berimbau should play
Yeah.
ding dong, so it's a complement. And then
Yeah.
if you talk about the tuning of the berimbau, then the high note of the gunga should match, the low note of the gunga should match the high note of the medium, so that you've got that texture where they work together. So even though they're off, they're still on.
Yeah.
And then the viola cries, right, and plays whatever it needs to play. It comes and goes, and takes us on a journey.
Nice. Congo, what do you think?
Well, the same Soquete says, like my first group I started with, everybody from gunga, médio, viola were the same rhythm, so dong ding, dong ding. But as with time, got more information, as Soquete says, well, you get like the gunga plays dong ding, and the other one ding dong.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
the viola is actually like the remix master. So it's just mixing,
Yeah, the DJ.
comes back into the rhythm, then remixes again. So
Nice. Okay. Cool. What do you think, Swa?
Yeah, it's pretty similar, I guess, the straight answer. If it's a high-level roda with lots of, mestres, professores, most likely we'll start the same way. We'll do Angola on the gunga, São Bento Pequeno inversion on the médio, and then São Bento Grande da Capoeira Angola with lots of variations on it. But most of the time, when it's just a beginner roda or just in the academy, I start the roda this way. But once the students come and I go play, everybody usually go back to everybody playing the same rhythm, stonting. But also there's quite a bit of variation even in that. In like São Paulo, Mestre Ananias, Praça da República, they play quite different. Where the gunga does the variations, for example, so which is very different to most of the capoeira world. So when I went to Sao Paulo, it was very cool to see that, and even the rhythms that they play. Sometimes it's different names. So somebody like the gunga could be playing Angola, the médio could play Angola dobrada, which is kind of like Benguela, tom din din, and then the viola could play Angolinha, they call it. It's tonch, tonting, tonch, tonting, tonch. So there's a few different ways. If you hear Contra Mestre Rafael CD, that's how it's, I think, set up this way, like I said last, because it's from that lineage from São Paulo, Mestre Ananias. So yeah, it's quite interesting. If you talk to Mestre Ferradura from Rio de Janeiro, he'll give you like 3-4 different other setups of possibilities of how to set it up. So it's quite beautiful, how much variation there is from group to group, from actually region to region in Brazil. It's very awesome.
That's pretty cool. Because the way I learned too is just the gunga plays the bass, at least for Angola, is don ding, and does the variation once in a while, and then the medio enters with São Bento Pequeno, ding dong. It barely goes like out of the rhythm to variations. And again, viola is the DJ of the roda. It just like plays and comes to the bass once in a while. And what about claps? You guys do Angolan claps in Angola? Who wants to start first?
Well, yeah, for Angola, like the way I was taught is like two claps, like clap, clap,
Yes,
rest,
I heard that.
clap,
I heard that
clap,
before.
rest. So I am only versed in that way. So the Angola rodas when I went to Brazil in Fortaleza was as well clap, clap, rest. So that's the
So
only
it's two.
yes, like
Oh, cool. Okay.
so clap, clap, rest, and then next.
Nice,
So
nice.
yes.
Well, what about you guys, Sue and Sokechi?
So I guess in my academy, we would. It be depends on the hot and where it's happening. For example, if it's like outside, it's some kind of performance, and we're trying to build it up, like a street hot or something like that. We would do maybe like two claps, like Congo said. But if it's like we're trying to be traditional, then everybody's sitting down and nobody's clapping. Or sometimes, like in Sao Paulo, they clap palma de terreiro on Angola. It's just
Oh,
super
really?
fast.
Oh,
Angola builds up, and if you listen to Praça da República, it's very often they'll do the ladainha, no claps, and as soon as it's done, pa, 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 and the energy goes crazy. So it's
oh,
the
wow.
rules can be broken. There's
For
no
sure, 100%.
no
Yeah, yeah.
rules.
It's not, yeah, there's not like a standard for capoeira. I just feel like capoeira is just like that. You just like not a standard. You have to go this way. What do you think, Sokachi?
Well, it's a really interesting point that Sua made too about like adapting to your situation. Because if you are doing a street hut or if you are trying to do a demo but you want to show the levels of capoeira, then if everybody's sitting down, you're going to lose some of that energy. So
Good point.
whether
Yeah.
you're standing up is another story too, right? And then being able to clap your hands helps to deliver more energy back to the players, also is going to deliver energy outwardly from the circle to the audience. So that makes complete sense to me. My first school played Angola and they would do Palma de Terreiro, like Congo said. Uh, and it was only maybe in the last 10 years that I've heard about people not clapping at all. So I was that to me is interesting. And then the clap, I've since learnt or seen it happen in ways where Angola rhythm from the gunga, no clap. When the gunga switches to salbento pequeno because the game's starting to level up,
Yeah.
then the clap clap comes in, and then
Oh.
if the game switches to salbento grande de regional, then the three claps comes in, and whether it goes to Palma de Terreiro or Palma de Bimba depends on which one of the rhythms you're going to take.
Okay. Have you guys ever done like a Palma de Bimba with some Bento Grande de Angola? No?
No, not me.
No? No?
I think we all do it when we start, like every new people coming in big roda with like beginner class, so you try to teach them Palma de Terreiro and it goes to Palma de Bimba in seconds. But
Yeah, always happen. Even with Samba Jihad, and then you do Palma de Terreiro, and everybody ends up like doing Palma de Bimba.
yeah, but I think that's the big difference between regional, São Bento Grande da Capoeira Regional and São Bento Grande da Capoeira Angola. Is the Palma de Terreiro and Palma de Bimba is one of the distinct things that I feel. When you
Yeah.
play, even the regional, how it's built up the rhythm itself, the Palma de Bimba just makes sense. It just don't thing, right? Whether
Yeah.
versus it's just that energy and
Yeah.
so it signifies the two rhythms for me and separates them, at least with the claps like that.
Yeah, yeah. Sokachi, what do you think?
I've been at tons of hodas where everybody claps Palma de Bimba to Sabento Grande de Angola, but it sometimes takes like one mastery to visit and be like, okay, you know what? This is not how it goes. And when everybody gets schooled, those who take the time to listen are like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's hard to change too from Palma de Bimba to Palma de Terreiro.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
first school was Palma de Terreiro. It's all I knew. And then when I went to learn Palma de Bimba, when I started training with Mestre Catriz, it killed me. I couldn't clap 1, 2, 3 and sing. It was like I was back in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And now when I go to places where they ask me to clap Palma de Terreiro, again, like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. Now I can sing. But, like Mestre Ferradura had mentioned in some of his workshops about being able to vocalize a rhythm for yourself and clap another one is a fabulous tool. Mestre Ferradura's music information is top notch.
Okay. Well, just for Palmaji, I did try sometimes. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not that musical person. I can start Palmaji Terreiro, but as soon as I start singing, my hands automatically go to Palmaji Bimba.
Same.
So I try, I try, okay, yeah, I got it. And I start singing, like, okay, no. But it's something that it's been going on for years.
Yeah, same.
It works like that though. Whatever you train is gonna be most comfortable, right? So like for example, we don't play much regional, so to put me on the gunga on a regional and sing in a batizado, I probably can do it, but like it's gonna be a lot of pressure because I don't play much regional. I can play, but then to sing is different. You have to train the most what you do and use in your rodas. So
For sure.
if you don't clap much palma de terreiro, then just focus on palma de bimba, right? It's
Yeah.
whatever works for your academy, you gotta stick with it.
Yeah. Because I mean, I never heard somebody, well, at least in the hardest I've been, never heard of like São Bento Grande de Regional doing Palma de Terreiro or backwards, or like São Bento Grande de Angola doing Palma de Bimba. It's just like, I just feel like for each rhythm has their claps, and I mean it's like Mr. Bimba created Palma de Bimba for São Bento Grande Regional. That's that at least how I perceive it.
Yeah, I agree with the regional. I don't know about São Bento Grande de Capoeira Angola. I think it can go either way.
Yeah,
with the claps.
true. Yeah,
But as we said, the regional I think is pretty strict. It sounds not right when it's palma de terreiro.
it's a little bit off. It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, is something wrong in here? And
Exactly.
what about like when you guys now like leveling, like speeding up the rhythm from Angola to São Bento Grande? Which São Bento Grande do you guys play the most? I know you guys mentioned before, but now specifically São Bento Grande, which one you guys play? Soquete, you first.
We play São Bento Grande de Bimba only. We don't play
cool,
São
okay.
Bento Grande de Angola at all
Okay.
in our group or in our school, because that comes from an Angola lineage, and the progression of those beats is Angola, São Bento Pequeno, São Bento Grande de Angola. That's how their harders often progress. And so when we started our harders, when I started training with Mestre, we play São Bento Grande de Bimba from the first talk, and then get straight into the quadras, corridos, louvação, and all that sort of stuff, and move on.
Cool.
Now, again, that was 24 years ago almost, or 20 years ago with Mestre. Now we play Benguela as well. So we read the room. What is everybody hungry for? If people want to start with regional, we start with regional. If things are getting a little crazy, stop the harder, we play a little Benguela.
It's just
Or
slowing
if
down.
people are, if everybody in the room is more advanced, they usually always want to start with Benguela because it gives a nice little warm up to all your joints and gets you moving a little bit more, builds some vibe, and then we'll switch. But I'll never progress from one rhythm to the next in a formal or a public forum. I'll finish the harder Benguela and then restart regional.
Nice. Congo, what do you think?
At this moment, because I have, let's say, beginner students, if we're going to play faster, then I just play São Bento Grande de Angola. But if I have more people that can maintain the rhythm, yes, we go to São Bento Grande Regional because it will give you more energy as well. So the way I learned as well was like, if you want to have like let's say a fire roda, you go with São Bento Grande Regional. So it gives you that extra edge. That's how I feel and how I learned in the past. But if I don't have people that can maintain the rhythm next to me, then I will switch to São Bento Grande de Angola. So you can still play in a beat without somebody like scratching the disc.
Yeah.
So you keep on going. And to the other way, what Soquete just said, I'm used to when we're playing to one rhythm, if you're changing to the other, we just do dang, 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 and then switch to the next rhythm. So you give like a sign that you're going to change, and then you change and you go up. That's how I learned from my previous teachers.
Oh, crazy.
So like, let's say you were playing Benguela, or I don't play Benguela. Let's say you were playing Angola. So if you feel like the hard is gonna change and they want to speed up the game, they like ding, and then like you're ding 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 ding, and then they kick in the next speed. That's how I perceived in Europe, and I learned, and that's how I do it as well.
Oh, nice, nice. Suo,
It
what do you
makes
think?
sense.
So for us, as I said, we rarely play regional. We used to play more back in the days. Like my group is based from Pernambuco, so we play in Brazil. If you go, they play lots of regional. But here in Canada, my master lives in Canada, and both in his academy in Vancouver and in my academy here in Calgary, we probably do 90% of Bento Grande da Capoeira Angola.
Nice.
Regional would be only if we have pretty much a room full of mostly advanced people and everybody know how to respect each other without like getting emotional and or getting hurt or whatever it is, and everybody can stay friends and hug each other after the games, then you can do it. But I feel like when it's a big roda, beginners, advanced, everybody mixed together. For me, at least, in meu pensamento, yeah, I don't like that, So for me, regional is very specific, and
Yeah.
only I don't want to say only graduados can play it and up, but around that, because some groups, same rule for Benguela, you cannot play Benguela. If you're, just walk into the academy, go play Benguela, because there's so many nuances. So goes Angola. So every rhythm, you have to just study and understand what you're doing. By my academy, for your question about the stopping and changing rhythms, I'm actually use both ways. What
Nice.
Soquete said is stop the roda, talk a little bit. Sometimes, hey, there's great vibes for the Angola, da da da, everybody looking good, express yourself, let's put a little more energy for the Salbeto Grande now, finish the roda strong. A couple push the roda and start again, like almost part two. Or lots of the times, also same as Congo said, we just flow to the next one. We just do a little chamada, reset everybody, stop the
Yeah.
game. The people who are playing shake the hands. Everybody come out. Everybody looking what's happening, and you go into the Sabento Grande, the Capoeira Angola. Everybody change the clap right away. It makes sense to everybody what's about to happen, and we just go enjoy, play that open game, kicks, floreos, acrobatics, a little bit combative, but the most of your chips or your power shouldn't be focused on combat at that moment. It's more beautiful kind of game demonstration of your capoeira. And then once changed to regional, it's pretty straightforward as well. You just don't do floreos, don't do acrobatics, and focus more on protect yourself and a combative game. And now actually each rhythm itself gives me that vibe. As soon as I hear that rhythm, I get different vibe in my body, different
Yeah.
stance. My ginga changes. So it's just you have to adapt to each rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Keji, what do you think?
I agree. Really interesting that you both guys do that ding, 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 ding. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, it makes complete sense. I haven't seen it done like that very much, but
Same.
it's a perfect way to get their attention without bringing the energy down. Everyone will do that. What? Oh, listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're good,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes you're at hardest and you see a change and nobody gets it. And
Yeah.
you're like, hang on, something's different.
Something's happening.
I've got this meme on my computer, and I'm like, is that slow regional or fast Benguela?
Yeah.
So it's that fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way I learned too is we start like if anyhow that we play the Angola, and then we lead to back then when I learned we play Benguela, and then we lead to Salmeto Grande, but it slowly start like changing, and of course you start adding more claps, the people and the bateria they start claps, and then and because the tabac is the one that makes the most noise. And then they start playing like a little bit faster, and they ask the tabaque to like speed it up, and then like that's when like kind of the speed started coming back up. What about you now? What do you guys play? How? Because I also heard that people do claps during Yuna, and I heard people singing during Yuna or people don't sing during Yuna and then do claps during Yuna? How you guys do it, or how you guys learn? So Kachi, let's start with you.
Okay. Again, new information, right? Things come, and in the last 5 or 6 years, I've paid a lot more attention in trips to Brazil and other places where you go for hardest. For my experience now, Iuna should be just berimbau, maybe atabaque, never pandero,
Oh,
never
okay.
clapping, and never singing.
Huh. Okay.
But the pandero thing, sometimes we learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm standing in the harder in Brazil next to my mestre. They start playing Iuna, and someone else is playing pandero, and then they handed it to me. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll join
Sure.
in. And mestre gave me that look. That everyone knows that look. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to see here. But I'll never forget. You
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
play
yeah.
pandero when you're playing Iuna.
Nice. Sua, what do you think?
So from kind of my group, what we do is two distinct kind of occasions really to play Ayuna. The first one, we just played recently here. We had a mestrando in Brazil. He died, and it was his funeral. So it was crazy. It was very awesome. They brought like tons of capoeiristas. They did like crazy roda. But before the roda starts, they play Ayuna for a really long time to kind of homenage the person who has died. But also the Yuna used for in our group for demonstrations. So could be used for like balloons, like different throws and tosses. It could be used for different kind of takedown sequence. The two people, it's mostly choreographed. Very often in my group, at least, it's in a batizado. Before the batizado starts, there's some presentations. So we will do those presentations with a Yuna. Or when we introduce the mestres, we have a cool thing where we have about 6 people standing on each side and each one holding
cool.
a berimbau. So we have pretty much 12 berimbaus and, like one berimbau on each side, like that. And then the mestres walk through and everybody cheer for them and they introduce on a microphone, mestre this, mestre that, and they walk through this
cool.
kind of Ayuna bateria line. So it's very cool. So that's what we use it mostly. But if you watch things like Abada, it's obviously a different idea there, where they do a lot more acrobatics and demonstrate. Pretty much a capoeira demonstration. If you had a bunch of people who've never seen capoeira before and you wanted to do the demonstration to show like the craziest stuff, I think Ayuna would be one of the good ones to do. To just
100%,
straight up, no really like attacks and takedowns, mostly just open game, beautiful, showy capoeira. That's what I learned and what I understand.
Nice. Congo, what do you think?
Yeah, for Iuna, I've seen different ways. Like you said, I've seen like the most traditional one is just that you have the berimbaus and sometimes the atabaque, no clapping, no singing, no instructors, no professors, no contramestres, only mestres playing. That was the traditional one that I learned when I started. But more in the years, they allowed professors in higher. But I also found groups that play Yuna but clap and use all instruments, literally all instruments, but they don't sing. And I also once saw a group singing, but they sing like ladainhas during the Yuna. But the most common one is the one that you find only berimbaus playing, maybe the atabaque very calmly, and only professors and higher playing. But the original that I learned 20 years ago, if you weren't master, you don't even have to try to go stand at the bateria to play.
Yeah, the last one is pretty much the way I learn. When they are like older people or if there's a bunch of mestres in the roda, only mestres play. And same, all the instruments play, claps, no singing. And if it's mostly like graduados or instructores, profesores, only graduados up play. And again, it's a very, very acrobatic. It's mostly acrobatic. That's at least the way I learn, and I like all the variations. I like to see all the different ways to play how people play. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, when I started, Iuna was actually for, let's say, the mestres to show off their skills.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
give each other room to show off your skills were, not your combat skills, but your froiler skills, your balance skills. That's how Iuna was used back in the days when I started capoeira.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
How?
And as a rhythm,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Benguela, Iyun is so beautiful.
It
When
is.
you've got three good tocadores playing Birimbaus, you
Yes.
don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Little tiny little touches on the atabaki, but it creates a vibe. Like Sua said, you hear a rhythm and it creates a vibe. And I don't think there's another vibe that is deeper into your spirit
Oh
and
man.
more uplifting than Iuna. Like that's why
Yeah.
it's used ceremonially to celebrate and to assist in the ascension for people who've passed and stuff like that as an
Yeah.
homage. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I had a couple friends that they passed long time ago, and every time we played Yuna for that too, and it's just like it gives you goosebumps, and everybody is like a sync in one moment, and it's really cool, like very emotional at the moment.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I was also I know last point I guess about the Yuna that comes to my mind is I also seen two really kind of ways to play Yuna. Sometimes people finish with a ding, sometimes people finish with a dong. So
yeah.
it'd be like tonch, 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 or it'd be tonch, 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 the ting, tonch, 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 ting, tonch, 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 tonch. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. Those are the two common ones that I've seen. The first one is the most common, obviously, but the second one I actually seen quite a bit of people play that. And first, when you see that, I was like, what are they playing? But then you understand that there's so many variations to every talking that it's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Since you've been in Plaza da República, have you seen how they play Yuna there?
No, when I was there, they didn't play Yuna, or when all the videos I saw, I didn't really see too much.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you too much information about that. But Mestre Moera, who's goes to the Praça a lot, is my friend, one of the references for me in music in capoeira. The second way that I mentioned, that's the way he plays, and he makes it sound super cool. That I almost like it more now than the first way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And do you guys have like a specific way how to teach berimbau? Or like, for example, like step by step, how you guys break it down to teach berimbau?
I have a little something that I like to do to start with is to practice all this each hit on its own, and
Nice.
then combining all the combinations you can make in the talkies that you're going to play. So if you're playing ting don don, so you're gonna be going from ting to tong. So you should be playing ti don ti don ti don ti don just to warm up, so for the beginners to understand. Or
Cool.
if you play, ting, that's a very difficult like sound for beginners to make ting. So then you just get them to do ting ting ting
Oh, I
ting
like that.
until the and then you start putting all the rhythms together. But I don't try to just throw the rhythm at them. I try to make them get each sound, put each sound or note in a row, and then after that kind of build the rhythm. Get them to build the rhythm, and then they
Yeah.
understand it better rather than just copying.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Congo, how do you do it?
With me, I try to like the way each sound, like Sua said, just the sound on its own, and then try different combinations, like if tong of tong ching, of tinch tinch, and actually when they're so far that we're gonna try rhythm, I actually start at the end and then work to the front.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's like if I go ding dong dong, I start like dong 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 ching dong dong. So I go the other way.
Oh, cool, cool.
I don't know. I don't ask me. It just went like that the first time I was trying it, and then because I learned Berimbau actually from my best friend who I call my sister. She was playing, and I was trying to follow her. So I was like, okay, ching dong dong, ching dong dong, and then I went that way. So that's why I teach that way as well.
Nice, nice. So, Ketch, how do you do it?
I think, like any instrument, there's a progression from where you should start and where you should go to in order to play. If you pick up a guitar, you're not going to go straight to Stairway from Heaven, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
you've got to learn how to hold the guitar, and you've got to learn how to make chords, and you've got to learn how to move from this chord and to that chord, and whether it's a piano, where you're placing your fingers. So I think the very first thing to do is address how to hold it, because I see a lot of people that don't hold the
Struggle.
berimbau well, and then end up with pain in their shoulders
Oh,
and their
really?
shoulders fatigue.
Oh,
So
dang.
just where you position
Yeah.
the berimbau for your own body from like a physique position is really important. If you've got your elbow out here and you're trying to do this to play a berimbau, your
Yeah.
shoulder's going to be very tired very quickly, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
are your forearm flexors and extensors.
Oh, yeah. You
So
play
is
5
this
minutes
how
and
we're
you're done.
supposed to play, or is it like, I always make the joke and say it's like the changing the light bulb from Bollywood, right?
Oh, cool. I like
I'm
that. I
doing a
like.
Bollywood dance scene. I'm changing the light bulb,
I like that.
right?
Nice. Okay.
So, but that happens when your shoulder's down, when your elbow's tight by your side, and then you're relaxed in your shoulders, and you're going to be more free to let your forearm rotate internally
Yeah.
and externally. So
Yeah.
that's really important. And the same thing, starting somebody on a gunga, poor team, they've got their arm out here. Give them a viola so they can
Yeah.
relax
Yeah.
the shoulder as well, because that's just one more problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when it comes to learning the sounds, I always start like the same thing. I'm like, well, a guitar player is going to do drills up and down the frets. They're going to do fingering drills. So
Okay.
I will do 6, 8, 4, whatever number I choose for the day, and we'll go ding, 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 dong, 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 dong,
Nice.
ding, 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 and then go backwards. Dong, 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 ding, 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 ding. Because there's 3 sounds, we've got to look at being able to go from the chiado to the dom, from the chiado to the ding, from the
Yeah.
dom
Yeah.
to the ding, from the dom to the chiado, and then you've got your half notes and stuff as well. So if you get plenty of that rep time, just ding, 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 dong, 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 then when it's time to start learning rhythms, the first rhythm I start people with is Santa Maria.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
It's not a rhythm they get to use in the harder very much, but it's an easy rhythm, especially when you look at it, because I write it on the whiteboard. And I'll change the last phrase to simplify it. So then you get dong, 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 3 dongs. Dong, 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 ding, a dong, and a dong to a ding. Ding, 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 ding. So then they're going from the to the ding. Ding, 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 dong. And then let them go that way. So then they're getting used to high to low, low to high. They're getting used to coming in and out of the chiado.
Yeah.
And
I like that one.
they've got a little bit of time where the instrument's away, and then they get to bring it back, and then they get it away, and then they get to bring it back. And then whatever rhythm you're going to play with in the class, like once they've had some time to do that, is going to help them to grow when they've got a metronome.
Yeah. Okay.
So if there's 5 people playing berimbau, it's so much easier for me to keep up with you and try to figure out how I'm doing. And if I make a mistake, I'm not going to lose where I'm at with the timing of the music, with the, because I'm just going to catch back up. So it doesn't matter how many times I fall, like in half capoeira, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep going. If you're trying to do it on your own, then your timing and everything else can disappear really quickly.
Yeah, because you're not following anything.
But if you're learning piano, you're learning guitar, and you do an hour with a piano teacher, and then you go away and you come back a week later to music class again, and they say, how many times did you practice this week? And you say none. What's your piano teacher going to say?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But people expect sometimes that they're going to get really good at playing berimbau if they do it once a week for 25 minutes.
Yeah,
it's not going to really help you to grow. So you need to be practicing at home. The beautiful thing about technology these days is you can just hit up Spotify, pick a song, and put on your headphones and just try to keep up with it, because having a metronome is everything when you're
100%.
practicing on your own.
Oh, yeah.
Even when I'm teaching batucada and stuff, there's this great samba track that sounds like a train leaving the station, and it gets faster and faster and faster. So I'll get my students to practice at home when they're playing batucada, because the rhythm's like donk ding slow, but 6 minutes in you're like but it gives you a chance to catch up and get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I found was amazing, I'll give credit, I'm pretty sure it was Mestre Bola from Capoeira Camara
Okay.
who was teaching a workshop about music, and he was like, so you know what you need? You need a, I've already put it in, you need a lacrosse ball and you need a sock. So here's my ball. Here's my sock. Because who wants to be listening to their kids or their brother or their cousin practicing how they use their baqueta to play berimbau all day in the house?
Yeah, yeah.
Now I have a sock. And I
cool.
can do this all day long. And how many times have you been in a harda and you're looking for someone else to take over because your forearm is like on fire?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And you start like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
See somebody like pays attention to you.
I could do this while I'm watching TV.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And then another thing he pointed out that was really interesting and a game changer for me also is that sometimes it's all about my wrist, and other times I want to articulate just in the fingertips so the
That's what I did,
kashishi
yeah.
doesn't overflow over other sounds. So the sock and the lacrosse ball and a baqueta, if you're at home and you've got a chopstick in the drawer,
That's pretty cool. That's
it's
pretty
a
cool.
great way to practice just that. And you can still work your rhythms, dong, ding,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
ding, with your lacrosse ball. Nobody's going to get upset with you.
Oh, yeah.
No neighbor's
Yeah,
knocking on the door. Hey, what is that?
Yeah.
Could you
Or like,
stop?
hey, can you stop? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
trying
the
to sleep.
other sock you can put here to make sure you don't hold it. Because if you drop the sock,
All right, don't drop it. Yeah.
yeah, that way you have two socks usable at the same time.
Great.
That's a good one. Yeah. So that
back
way
into the
you
laundry.
use 2 feet. Nice.
Also, another thing that like sparked my mind was Soquete said about the position of the berimbau. Lots of the times it's very advisable to practice the way, as we said, you're gonna play. So if you're in an Angola group and you're always playing seated down, you should practice seated down, and you'll have the cabasa in a little different spot and everything.
Yeah.
If you never sit down, then it's better to practice standing up. So if you're all day practicing at home sitting down, it might not carry through 100% like that into the holder. So, stick to whatever you do the most.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Same. That's what I usually do for my students. I just have them, and that's the way I learn. Like repeat the sound with the mouth, and just don ding, and then just like chiado, the din, and the dong, and then to memorize the rhythms. I start with Angola first, and then don ding, and then once they start catching the rhythm, okay, now apply it to the berimbau, and then like Soquete said, if you don't practice it at home, you're gonna be on that berimbau like 10 years. It's gonna take you really long time, but you gotta do your homework. And the good thing of when I learn with the mouth is when you listen to capoeira music, and then you can follow the rhythms with your mouth, and then you will down din. Okay, like I love Mr. Tony Vargas music because it's really clear, and you can listen the berimbau perfectly. So you can listen, you can follow any rhythm with him, and then
Cadenciado, right? Cadenciado. It's very cadenced rather than rushed. It's very cool. Same as Mr. Bimba CD as well. You're never gonna hear it. Don't inch. It's more like contemporary now, like doing it more like that, but it's never was like that before.
Yeah, and you can follow, and you can actually pay attention, because there's many capoeira music where the singers just overpower the entire bateria, and you barely listen. You have to really pay attention to the background for you to catch the berimbau. Yeah. How do you guys teach the singing, the following step from playing to singing?
You mean singing with the berimbau or just singing plain?
Singing with the berimbau, yeah.
Okay. The way I do it is actually the way I started as well. Is not even singing. It's just trying to have a conversation with somebody.
Nice.
Just two people playing and like trying to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So that you can be comfortable doing, like the berimbau must become second nature. then you can concentrate on the song because
Nice.
I tried before also just trying to teach a song at the same time. Then you're putting two things that have rhythm, and then people get confused. So then I tried again just to have people talk with each other. And when that gets comfortable, then I will try, because then you know the berimbau is second nature. Then I will go back to try to teach the song and playing the berimbau at the same time. And simple song,
Yeah,
ay
yeah.
ay 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 ay. You know, songs that you can even use the berimbau to keep you in rhythm as well, and then flow on to more difficult songs.
Nice, nice. So how do you do it?
Yeah, I think the key here is keep it simple. You know, you don't want to
100%.
jump on there and try to sing some crazy long song. It's
Sing a
better just
ladainha there.
yeah, just if you cannot sing ay 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 with the berimbau, then for sure you cannot sing a full long song. So
Yeah.
for me, like the harder part, like it's a for beginner question and also advanced question because all of us can improve on playing or in doing variations, viradas,
Oh, yeah,
while
yeah.
singing. And it's probably the same skill as a beginner, just picking up and playing. They
Yeah.
just don't have the amount of time and the practice. They didn't master how to play clearly the berimbau and to be able to sing. So they need to sing first. If they cannot sing, it's not going to work on the berimbau. Once they sing, they need to learn the berimbau as well. If they cannot play the berimbau, they cannot play berimbau and sing. Once they can do both, then slowly. But there's a trick for like more advanced people that trying to get better at viradas and singing.
Yeah.
It's just one technique is to keep that virada as your toque. So for example,
Oh,
if you
I like
play
it.
stonting, and then you want to do stonting, that might throw you off.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go ston, sting, ston, sting, ston, sting, and you can sing here, then you already know how to play the rhythm. You already know how to play with it with this specific viradas. Then when you put your rhythm and the specific virada that you practice singing with it, then you can put the two together. It's gonna be very hard for you to see some cool virada on YouTube or Instagram and sing and then remember that and all of a sudden do the virada while you're singing. It's going to be very hard. So you have to practice that specific virada while singing, isolate each component together. And then once you achieve that, you can kind of mix it up. Be like, Contramesh Rafael. He can just do crazy stuff and sing at the same time. It's just amazing. I'm lots more years to practice that skills.
yeah.
But I just want to throw out there, I saw a cool course about this specific thing I just talked about viradas and singing at the same time. A guy named Mestre Marcelo Fico, you guys probably know, he's living in Greece, Angolero, and he has on his website a kind of course, which I want to take that course. I heard about it, and it's a specific course about playing like very cool viradas from kind of Mestre Ananias' lineage while singing, and it's crazy. It's off time, syncopated. So once you achieve that skill, I think you kind of can just run with it,
whatever.
and be free, whatever. So I'm really looking forward to sharpen these tools in the next year or two.
Nice.
The viradas and singing at the same time.
Nice. Where people can find that course? Do you have the website?
Yeah, it's on his website. It's marcelofinco, I think, .com.
Nice, nice.
So if you put Marcelo Finco music course, you will find it. He has, I think, a few different ones. But I heard about that specific one about singing and playing at the same time with crazy variations. So
Nice.
I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have to dive into that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So Kechi, what do you think?
That sounds really awesome, Sua. I love that idea of just sticking with the one virada and singing. So my question was, I've been dying. I'm glad I got to go next. If you're doing that on your own, do you still keep a metronome running, like a berimbau or an atabaki or something playing as well as your virada, or are you doing that just on your own? Because that's next level. Having an atabaki would be helpful because at least you can feel the rhythm still. So how are you working that, bro?
So there is a very cool track on YouTube. Mestre Cueca made this track, I think, or he at least sent to me from CDO Russia and Israel. He's from there. He sent me this, and it's that exactly. It's a backtrack. So no beating bows, only other instrument like You might have a atabaki, but I think it's just pandero and agogo playing. And if you go on my Instagram, the last video I'm playing, the Strumento Grande de Capoeira Angola, I'm playing to that back track. So that gives you the metronome. But I think it's also important to practice without metronome. I'll give
Yeah, that
another-
would be a step up.
For sure. I'll give another shout out back to Mestre Moreira from Sao Paulo. I took some Zoom classes for music with him, and he's very particular about being able to do it by yourself, sitting there, and he would stop you, cadenciado, cadenciado. So mantenha o cadência. So you have to maintain it, and you, as a human being, right, you would just want to rush. So you play for 1 minute, and after 1 minute, it's way faster. But no, if you can stick with it for 2, 3, 4 minutes, the same speed, that's how you get better, actually.
For sure, I like that one.
Yeah.
And how do you find the video? Is Mr. Cueca, how you find the backtrack?
I'll send you. I think if you just go to YouTube, anybody, and just put capoeira backtrack, you'll be able to find it. And there's two. There's one. It's not really divided to Angola or regional. It's just BPM. So one is slower, one is faster. So you can play whatever rhythm suits you. You can play fast Angola or for the fast one, or you can play Sabeto Grande da Capoeira Angola, vice versa for this one.
Nice. Soquete, how do you teach the music? How do you have your students do that transition in between learning how to play berimbau and vocalize anything?
Very similarly. Like, I think, again, metronome is really important. So we do a music session specifically every Saturday afternoon for an hour. And so there'll be a number of panderos, a number of atabakis, a number of birimbaus, and then maybe, depending on how new somebody in the room is, maybe we'll have an agogo as well. And the progression is, if you're going to play instruments, then you need to learn pandero, atabaki first, because it's the easiest, then pandero, then birimbau. But I say don't even look at a birimbau if you can't play atabaki and sing. If you can't play pandero and sing, because they're much more simple motor function.
100%, yeah.
There's so much more going on with berimbau. And with singing, I always say that it's important to be able to, when we think about the fact that a lot of people are outside of Brazil and English is their first language, or not Portuguese, anything other than Portuguese is their first language, then singing in another language is an extra challenge. So if you can learn to just speak like Congo was saying, just have a conversation, right? To be able to have a back and forth while you're playing an instrument is really important. Anybody who plays guitar and learn how to sing while they're playing guitar, they'll tell you the same thing. Or piano and sing. Your brain will get it, but it takes some time. And metronomes help. And consistency in your practice is really important too. And in time, learning to play with this rhythm, and berimbau is the most challenging, because you're going to play this rhythm and then sing with that rhythm. Then you're going to learn another rhythm and you got to sing with that rhythm. And then you're going to learn another rhythm and then you're going to sing with that rhythm. And then, like Sue was saying, then you got to turn it up and be able to do variations while you're singing the lead. The journey is long, my friends, but it's worth it.
Yeah, and homework, man, is like, because dude, like, how many times have you guys spent off class playing something in the berimbau? You know what I mean? How long you guys, when you guys started, like, how long you guys, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour?
So sorry, go ahead, Congo.
Okay, in Holland, they have like at 10 o'clock at night, you have to stop playing music.
Oh, you didn't.
They will call the cops on you. It's that simple. So as a student, I was living in a student house with a lot of other people. And literally at 10 o'clock, I hear, it's enough. So when I started, I have to say I'm guilty of not touching a berimbau the first 3 years of capoeira. But as soon as I got my first berimbau, it was like a daily session.
Nice.
I was even afraid to untie my berimbau, because I was afraid I would break it if I tried to tie it back up.
Oh man, that's the worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Break a berimbau.
So when I started, it was worse than religion. Let me put it that way.
What about you, Soquete? How long did you spend, like, at the beginning when you started learning?
Well, I didn't have my own berimbau for years and years and years.
Same.
So I was maybe 4 years in before I had my own berimbau. So for sure, I would try to play in classes, and like I said, with a limited amount of exposure and practice, you're only going to get so far. When
Yeah.
I finally got a berimbau, it was headphones and down by the beach, or headphones
Nice.
and in between sessions at work, or in between whenever I could, headphones and just play. So I couldn't hear if I was annoying anybody else, because I was hearing beautiful music in my ears.
Yeah. So somebody screaming at you like, "Hey, come on, stop, dude."
Yeah. It was good. Just drive down to the park and sit on the front of your car and string your berimbau, put your headphones on, look at the park or look at the water, and just get away.
Try
Of
to
course,
follow, yeah.
here in Toronto right now, when it's 0 and there's snow on the ground, or if it's -10 in Calgary,
Oh
you're not
man.
going to be sitting at the beach today.
Which beach?
What about you, Sua? When you started, when you like play at the beginning, how long? You spend a lot
So
of time playing?
I was lucky enough. When I started capoeira, my teacher at the time, Mestre Nimi from Israel, from Kodat Euro, he just moved to the town. So everybody who
Nice.
started kind of started at the same time. So it was quite competitive. So some people were really crazy at acrobatics, and then everybody else really wanted to catch up. Some people knew so many songs. Like after 1 year of capoeira, we had like students that were able to sing like pagode
Wow.
songs, full CDs that they learned and memorized, right?
Wow.
Outside of Brazil. So it was quite competitive. So everybody got the hang of berimbau right away. My teacher came in with tons of berimbaus. Everybody could borrow and take them home to take for a week or two, and that's what we do here in academy. If any students like, oh, I want to get a berimbau at some point, da, da, da. I was like, take a berimbau, practice, and that gives you even more motivation to buy your own berimbau soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, because if you don't give them the berimbau, it might be another year or two before they get some berimbau. But you give them the berimbau, they have no excuse to practice. They fall in love with it. They're gonna go order the berimbau right away or ask you how to get the berimbau.
Oh yeah.
But
As long as they don't break it.
exactly, another thing that my first teacher was really big about, and I'm very big about as well, is if you can afford having two berimbaus, that'll be great. One berimbau will be always strung on your wall, because every time if you unstring it, restring it, it's going to be effort, it's going to be time, and you might think twice before you want to play. If you have like 4 minute window, you have a phone call in 4 minutes, and the berimbau is hanging right here, you might grab it, 3 minutes, put it down, grab a quick drink, and go on your phone call. But if you have to string the berimbau, you're not going to touch it. So I have one crappy berimbau. Like I like the berimbau, it's not crappy, but it's very flexible because I keep it strong, but it's my berimbau like to play. If I need, I go grab it and I play, and that way I don't worry about it being more flexible or being wrong. At some point, I'll get a new berimbau and put it there, or get one of my good berimbaus and put that in its place. And then last trick is what I did, what really like pushed my game. I feel like with the playing to the next level is to shadow a CD that you really like. So for me, my favorite CD when I started capoeira was Mal Branca. I don't remember which one. I think it's the second one, but there's one that the São Bento Grande, the Capoeira Angola track goes for like half an hour straight, no
Oh
stops.
wow.
And it has all the songs. Ele braço forte, eu perna dura, ele é meu mestre. So there's lots of different cool songs on that CD. And that CD goes super fast BPMs, don't for half an hour. So I would put that on and I would try to keep up with it. And first I started, I would be able to play 10 minutes, then 15, 20, until I was able to play the track 2-3 times in a row. So sometimes, like if I had like a weekend, I would put the track like 2 times on repeat and just 1 hour of just smashing at São Bento Grande, Caporangola, fast. I got a crazy blister here, but it protect me when I need it.
Yeah.
So that was a few things that I did to push my game up. And when I came to Canada, I moved to Canada. I only had about maybe 4.5 or 5 years of capoeira before I came to Canada and joined the group I'm in now. And I came in already with quite a good berimbau level, what I was proud of. So
Nice.
I have to give credits to the people that pushed me from the beginning to really get good at it.
Nice.
And not to slack off with this stuff.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's pretty cool. Like, again, it comes back to you gotta do the homework, right? Like you gotta practice and practice and practice and practice because, like all the pros people, like doesn't matter what you do, capoeira, you do soccer, you do basketball. If you don't practice, what I mean, you're not gonna get to the pro league, right? And to wrap it up, because I know also I gotta teach a class.
We have 25 minutes, so don't rush,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Cool. But really quick, a short single advice for any listening right now about Berimbau. Single advice, really quick. Let's start with Sua. You first.
Yeah, so I just mentioned, I'm going to recap real quick. Have a berimbau at home. Make sure you have one so you can practice. Have a berimbau at home strong that you can, always grab it and practice. Especially if you're a beginner, it's going to be very hard for you to string it every time. It's an important skill to learn how to string it 100%. But if it's going to add more hours into your berimbau playing, if you keep it strong, I'd rather do that. And then just the biggest advice is now with the coronavirus situation, Zoom is available. Lots of masters with so much knowledge from different lineages have so much knowledge and don't have much work right now at capoeira. So it's very easy just to message somebody on Facebook or Instagram and say, Mestre, do you have 1 hour, I'll pay you whatever, tell me how much you charge, and let's do a session with the berimbau and just teach me some cool stuff that I can take it and do homework on it. So just don't just stick to what you know and practice what you know, because you're just practicing what you already know.
Yeah.
It's good to get other people's opinions, other people's ways of playing, and adapt that, because it will tune and it will make your quality a lot better, the touch a lot better. Just a quick example with Angola, right? Some people I always play tonting, but you go to the praça, they don't play tonting, they just play tonting. They don't do the first chiado at all. So then you practice like that, and I can play that, but I cannot sing like that. Then you have to relearn the whole process. So just being able to change and adapt and go to this roda, listen quickly and see, okay, this person doing it like this. This person play Angola with the cabaça out a couple times, like stomping. This person's playing stomping, right? Just that difference even, or Benguela, right? Tom ding ding. Some people tom ding ding. All those things, right? You watch, you go to the roda, you see, okay.
Yeah,
and you should be able to adapt if you have enough hours of practice and enough vontade, enough wantingness to be able to learn and adapt and put new 100%. Things into your game. I think is worth it. So invest in yourself, even if it's cost a little bit money now. Invest in yourself and get those awesome private classes 101 and upgrade your game. There's no excuse. Pandeiro, atabaque, go, whatever you want. Get it.
Nice. I like it. Congo, what do you think?
Well, everything that Sua said, but to be a bit more specific, if you have a lot of information, but the important thing is to take the time to do it as well. If you have 2 minutes a day, it's 2 minutes a day. If it's an hour, it's an hour, but don't go like, I only have 5 minutes. Then do 5 minutes. Because if you don't practice, you won't get anywhere. And nobody's born with a driver's license. So make mistakes, enjoy your mistakes, and level yourself up gradually.
100%. Soquete.
Practice, right? You got to get your time in. So I think it was Edgar Bombaril that was on your podcast, and he was talking about his capoeira training. And he was like, I'm going to do 20 minutes every day. And he said, maybe when I get 18 minutes in, I'm like, I'm totally going to keep going. And you do 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then there are those other days where you're like, 20 minutes. Okay, it's only 20 minutes. I'm going to hammer it out. And when it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
The same thing can be done for your instruments. You say 5 minutes. I'm going to do 5 minutes every day.
Yeah.
And some days it might turn into 20, half an hour. You might play the whole CD on your headphones.
Oh, yeah.
And other days you do your 5 and you're like, okay, my hand hurts. I'm going to go and, do something else.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. And another thing to really consider is the pace you're playing at. Like you say, cadenciado. Cadence is really important. But like anything in capoeira, if you can't do it slow, well, you're never going to do it fast.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So even if you're playing Salbento Grande de Bimba, don't ding, don't ding, don't ding. Go even slower than that if you have to.
Yeah, yeah,
Make every sound clear. Do the finger drills, dong, 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 dong. It might be boring,
yeah,
but it's good for you. If you
yeah,
ask anybody who's learned to play any other instrument well, they'll tell you how many hours it's taken just to develop the dexterity in your hands and the muscle memory. And I always say hashtag myelin, which is
yeah,
the sheath that wraps around your muscles that helps your body to correctly apply the right amount of energy to the right muscle at the right time. So it
yeah.
takes a long time for it to get there, but it'll take you 50 years at once a week, maybe 4 or 5,
Yeah,
right? For 5 minutes
yeah,
a day,
yeah,
it's worth it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, more you practice, you can shorten that time, and then like again, you once you kind of like feel comfortable with the playing berimbau, you can ask your instructor or you guys and be like, hey, can I play really quick in the berimbau? And then if it's 3 berimbaus, hey, can I play here? And then really quick. Just don't play when my maestro is around so you don't get the look. Yes,
As you
yeah.
said, the time is plays into it for sure, but we also need to be efficient with our time and challenge ourselves,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, if you go to the gym and you like lift the same thing, is you become comfortable with it, you're not gonna grow, your body not gonna grow.
Oh,
With the
yeah.
music, is the same. You can get really, really good at something like just the bass, and that's what most beginners to graduado should focus on. But once you pass that, it's important to do the viradas, that freedom that gives you to be able to variate and syncopate, and there's just lots of different talkies. Just like Soquete said, he used Santa Maria to teach his students. 100%. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's great to, even if you don't use in your school as a game in the roda, that talkie you can still use as a training on the CDs, like you said, Tony Vargas, you can hear like Jogo de Dentro is coming back,
Oh,
the
yeah.
rhythms, right? So it's very cool. In CDO, they have the miudinho, which is like
Oh,
just
man.
amazing
Oh, yeah.
rhythm. They're like probably like the most crazy like rhythm, the most
Oh, yeah.
energy. I feel like on atabaki and everything, right? Just so being, even if you don't play that rhythm, if you can play that rhythm well on the berimbau, it might not be useful for your roda, but it'll be useful for transferring the same skill into a different talkie,
Oh, yeah,
right?
for
Like
sure.
just we said, the jogo de dentro is a build, is like miudinho. Just miudinho is a little bit, it's ting 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 dong ding. If you drop down to jogo de dentro, ding dong ding, ding dong ding, ding dong, right? So it's, every rhythm helps another rhythm. So don't
Yeah.
just stick to. Once you get good at your bubble, go outside the bubble and explore. So you can get read new books, listen to new music.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the new information will make you better. So think outside the box.
Yeah. Plus, whenever you go to another group, you visit another group, you visit whoever, and they say, okay, well, we just play Samento Grande Angola here. And then, okay, well, I can play Samento Grande Angola. Or you visit another group, oh, we just play Samento Pequeno here. Oh, well, I can play that. You can adapt to any situation. But again, you got to do the homework. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up here. But before that, what are you guys' social media so people can find you and follow your work? Let's start with Soquete. Let's start you first.
Okay, so Kadada Capoeira Toronto, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Professor Soquete on Facebook, and on Instagram, it's now Soquete Capoeira and Yoga, because I've been doing a lot of yoga instruction
Awesome.
the last couple of months just for something new and something interesting, and it's been so good for my injuries, but that's a whole other story. Moving on.
Nice, nice. Congo.
My Instagram and Facebook is Congo Capoeira. Just Congo Capoeira.
Nice, nice. And you can find everything there.
Yes.
Sua.
Yeah, it's Sua Capoeira, or Capoeira She Brazil Calgary is my group's page. So if you need anything, hit me up, and I will do my best to answer whatever question anybody has or collaborate on anything. The more information, the more friendships, the better. So I want to
100%.
just say big thank you, and I'm glad I was able to share
Oh yeah, of
one more
course.
time
Thank you.
the podcast with Kashishi, of course. Soquete I know personally, we met before, and I'm glad to meet Congo here on the screen for the first time,
Nice.
and looking forward for more conversation in the future.
Oh yeah, for
Yes.
sure. I'm,
Same
I'm
here.
looking forward to visit every single of you, and I'm itching, man, for to traveling, and my feet just like so ready to start traveling.
Yes, hopefully it's gonna wrap up this crazy coronavirus,
Oh
and
man, I hope
we're all
so.
gonna go to
To
the
the
Caribbean
beach.
Yes, and
or
of course,
to the mountain.
the man. Oh
We
yeah,
got some beautiful mountains here. So some people like beach. I like beach too, but we have
nice,
beautiful
nice.
mountains and cold lakes. So
No swimming
I'll
there.
take the mountains. I leave the lakes.
yeah,
And of course, don't forget to follow the podcast too, where you can find all these. You can find videos. You can find the interviews of all 72. This is going to be 73, I believe, episode. So go there, follow every single of these guys. They have beautiful works, and I admire every single of you guys because you guys keeping up the work and finding. It's not easy to push classes and it's completely different when you see on social media, but behind doors, it's a different, completely different story. So I'm
100%.
very happy to have you guys back, and 100% sure we'll have you back.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, guys. Thank you. I will talk
Thank
to
you
you
very
soon.
much.
Ashe, galera.
Peace.
Ashe.
Ciao, ciao. Pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for getting this far. Remember, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook or YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is going to help us and help me to get bigger numbers and bigger subscribers so we can give more information. Okay, please, if you're listening, I know you're listening, I know you're watching, please give me a subscribe, give me a like. Okay, I know you're watching right here or listening. All right, have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening every single episode, especially the episode we just did. All right, thank you so much. Peace.